Good morning, Year 4, and welcome to the first math session of the new term. And this term we are kicking off with fractions. Okay, this entire half term is going to be focusing on the family which we call fractions, which includes fractions and decimals this term. Okay, it doesn't include percentages, but that's for another time. Okay, so it's fractions and decimals for this half term. So today we're just going to get ourselves thinking about fractions because it's been quite a while since you guys have properly done them in school. Okay, to get ready though, there are some questions to be having a go at. Let me just move my little picture out of the way of the clock a little bit. 5 questions there to be having a go at, so if you pause the video now and have a go at that, off you go. Okay, so first one, draw a shape with an area of 4 squares. Okay, so this is obviously area what we did just before half term. And could have had any of those options there. You may have drawn one which looks a little bit looks similar to that center one. It's just been rotated or reflected. It'll still be the same shape. Okay. The second question says, what is the area of the rectangle in squares? So we can either count all the squares or we can count that there's 2 on each column and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. So we do 6 times 2. That would give us 12. Okay, so remember, we can use multiplication if we're working out if there's an equal amount of squares in each row and column. Finding the product of 6 and 8. If we're finding the product, we're multiplying. So 6 times 8 or 8 times 6, remember it's commutative, so it doesn't matter which way around they go. 6 and 8 is 48. And subtracting 1,000 from 7,892. Well, you know what? There's a trick here because the 892 isn't going to change. It's just the thousands. And if I'm subtracting 1,000 from 7,000, I'm going to be left with 6,892. And the clock up in the top right hand corner there, you can see that the minute hand is pointing at 3, which means quarter past. And you can see that the hour hand has just left 7. So it is quarter past 7. Again, we don't know if it's AM or PM, but we just know it's quarter past 7. Okay then, let's move on with our fresh learning. So like I said, we are just reminding ourselves about fractions. Okay, and we're going to use pizza for the first part. You can see there that we've got one whole. Okay, we are talking about a fraction out of that pizza. Okay, that is one whole. The pizza is the whole pizza. Here I've got a pizza split into 2 halves. Okay, they are halves because they are exactly the same. They are equal parts. Okay, if I have 4 quarters, that means I'm splitting it into 4 equal parts. Okay, whenever we talk about fractions, we have to split into equal parts. 1 half is just one of those 2 parts. Okay, you can see there the way that the fraction's written at the top. They have the numerator, which is the number that sits on the top, is 1, and the denominator that sits on the bottom is 2. That means it is 1 out of 2. Okay, 1 half of that pizza is full there. 3 quarters means 3 out of 4 equal parts. Okay, there's my 4 equal parts, and it's going to be 3 of them. 2 quarters means 2 out of 4 equal parts. Okay, I've chosen those 2 on the bottom, but it could be any of the 2. Okay, 2 of the 4 equal parts. 1 quarter, you've got it, is 1 of the 4 equal parts. Now you can see there it's not been split up into 4. However, we know that the other 3 make up that chunk of the pizza. We can see that from what we had here, can't we? You can see that the 3 make up this sort of shape with the pizza in the circle. So if I've just got 1/4, what's left would be 3/4. There you go. 2/4, you see there, 2/4 is the same as 1/2. Okay, so here it means we can show different fractions have the same value. So 2/4 is the same as 1/2. 2 out of 4 equal parts is the same as 1 of 2 equal parts. So here's a task for you. I want you to take a piece of scrap paper and fold it in two. Do you have 2 halves? Think to yourself, do you? Have you got 2 equal parts? Okay. Now fold it again into 4 parts. Do you have 4/4? Now, the reason why I'm asking this here for is because, like we said, fractions, it all depends on equal parts. Fractions must be equal. So there you can see that when that paper has been folded, that has been folded in half because each of the 2 parts is equal. It's the same size. They have equal parts. If it's not folded so that the parts are exactly the same, there'd be 2 parts, but because they're not equal, it's not half. Okay, so here's the book that we've got for our English. Okay, you can see the thickness of it there. If I was to open it up, you can see there that I've split it into 2 parts. I've got this part here and I've got this part here. It's in 2 parts, but it's not half. You can see there that where I've opened it, I've not opened it halfway. I've got 2 parts. I've got this part and I've got the thicker part, but because they're not equal, I've not split it in half. If I wanted to split it in half, okay, I'd be doing something along the lines of this, okay, and making sure that both parts are the same. So fractions must be equal. And when you broke your paper into 4, did you do it like this? Were the parts equal? If they were equal, you've broken them into quarters. If not, you've just made 4 parts. There's a difference between having 4 parts and 4 equal parts. There's a task I'd like to have a go at there. I'm going to create a picture of this and put it onto the web page. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word there. Okay, you can have a go at those. And what I'm also going to put on the web page is a sheet full of these to have a go at and just push your understanding. Okay, so with this part here, with the circle, true or false, fact or fiction? Have we got 2 out of 3 shaded? Well, we've got 2 out of 3, but are those parts equal? Worth thinking about. Is this half of that triangle? Is this half of the rectangle that's shaded? I'll be really interested to know what you think here for. Okay, don't worry if at the moment you're thinking, oh no, it's fractions, I can't do fractions. Okay, because what we're going to do this week, we're going to do lots of getting into the fractions and understanding what they represent before we move on. Okay, and you may not have done this properly for quite a while because last year with the first lockdown, fractions probably didn't get the coverage it should have when you're out of school. So don't worry, we're going to be going right back to basics and getting a good handle on things. But these challenges will be a good place to start. Okay, year 4, great effort. See you tomorrow.